This is an introductory workshop to talk about financial aid and financial planning as it relates to college. So it's starting with the basics in describing what financial aid is. Financial aid is money in the form of grants, scholarships, and loans that help a student pay for college. Steps to getting financial aid. 1, apply to a college. 2, apply for financial aid at that college. And 3, receive a financial aid award, or it might also be called a financial aid package. Those are one and the same. And what they are is an offer of scholarships, grants, and loans to cover all or some of the cost of college. Students would get a financial aid award or a financial aid package in the form of a letter or even an email. The number one step is to apply to colleges that are affordable. Even if a student applies for financial aid at a college that doesn't give good financial aid, the college may end up being unaffordable. If you don't know this information going into the process, the student may end up having no affordable options. The good news is that there are many affordable options. And so I'm going to not start with this first one here. I'm going to skip down here to apply to Massachusetts public state colleges. At Holyoke High School, we encourage all students to apply to at least 2 Massachusetts public state colleges if they're applying to 4-year colleges. Please do not confuse state colleges with any college that happens to be in the state of Massachusetts. When we say state college, we mean public. So colleges like Springfield College and Boston University and Boston College and Elms, those are all private. They're within the state of Massachusetts. However, they don't offer a special tuition rate for Mass residents. So here's a list of the colleges that are public and do offer that special rate for Mass residents. So first listed are the community colleges, which are 2-year colleges that award associate's degrees and certificates. And then we have the state universities, which are all 4-year universities, and those include the University of Massachusetts. Another way to save money is to commute to college, which means to live at home and drive back and forth every day. And so if you apply to some colleges that are close by, such as Elms, Springfield College, Westfield State, UMass, Smith, and they don't give you enough financial aid for your family to afford it, you can decide to commute. I usually tell students to apply as a residential student, which means a student that'll live on campus, see how much money the college gives you, and if it's not enough, you just call them up and say, you know what, I'm going to live at home and commute. Now how much financial aid will I get? They'll adjust that financial aid, and it will cost quite a bit less than living on campus will. So now I'm going to skip up here. The number one thing that I suggest is searching for colleges that give good financial aid. So I'm going to show students how to figure that out. Now, I just want to say, if it's a Massachusetts public state college or a college you can commute to, it doesn't matter so much if they have good financial aid because those options are so much cheaper already. So these colleges that have good financial aid, we're talking about private colleges that may not be close by. And so we're going to start with this cool search tool. It's called College Match by College Data. You don't, I would jot down the name. You can just Google it, College Match, College Data. And this cool college search tool is going to come up. So I'm going to show you how to do a quick college search by colleges that give good financial aid. So let's say I'm interested in the Northeast. You can select which regions or states you're interested in attending college in. I'm going to leave all of that blank because it's not super important to me right now. Financial friendliness is very important. So financial need met is basically a percentage indicator of how good their financial aid is. How much of the bill are they essentially going to pick up for you based on how much money your family can afford for college? I like to search maybe 90% or higher. And then I also like to put in a major. You can put in more than one. Let's see. I'm going to find something that's somewhat common. I'm going to do biology. And then I'm going to hit find. I don't suggest putting in too many indicators because your search can turn up blank. And so here's a whole bunch of colleges in the Northeast that have a biology major that give at least 90% of financial need met, and we got a result of 58 colleges. So I'm going to click on a random one, Franklin and Marshall College, which is in Pennsylvania. This is a great college, and it's going to give you some data. I'm going to scroll down until I see money matters. Average percent of need met, 100%. So although this college is extremely expensive at $76,000, if you get in, they guarantee to meet, or they don't guarantee, on average, they meet 100% of your family's financial needs. So this will likely be an affordable option. If your family is low income, that means it is likely to be free to attend Franklin and Marshall. So the other college search tool that you might want to use is College Board. So on this one, I do it a little bit differently. I do location again, and we'll put New England again. And you just click this X up here. And I click on a major. We'll do biology again to keep it the same. Biology general. Okay. Okay, that's all I'm going to put in. On this one, you can search in paying by financial need met, but I usually don't do it on this website because you can only go in increments of 20. I don't want to limit myself to 100% need met schools, but 80 is also too low, so I'm just going to do no preference, but I'll show you where to find that information. So I've got this great list of colleges. Now I'm going to click on Assumption University in Worcester, and to find out if this is a financially friendly college, I am going to click on paying. Now, there's tons of great information here, but for today, we're focusing on paying. And you can see the cost of the college, which is $60,000, which is very expensive. But I'm going to look up here, financially by the numbers, and I'm going to look at the percent need met on average. So it's 79%. This number for a private college that is in Worcester, meaning students can't commute, it's too far, this is a bit low for me. I don't love that. It doesn't mean students shouldn't apply to colleges that don't have good financial aid. However, you want to have a balanced list of colleges to apply to, and some of them should be affordable. You know, a student might apply to Assumption and then get some great outside scholarship money, and in the end, it might be affordable. Or for a family that is higher income, it might be affordable, but it may not be for everyone. So we want to make sure that we balance our college list with affordable colleges if we also have some unaffordable. And then really the best way to tell is to use something called the net price calculator. So once a student has a pretty good idea of colleges that they're interested in, a family is going to want to go onto that college's website and look for the net price calculator, which is a calculator where you put in financial information and they give you a really close estimate of what that student would get in financial aid. It's pretty accurate. Because it's so accurate, it does take some time to do. So you have to be ready to sit down for a little while. Some colleges have a shorter version for maybe 9th, 10th, 11th graders to get an idea, whereas in 12th grade, you want a closer estimate. So you might want to use net price calculator. To find that, I just Google it. So we have Franklin and Marshall here. I'll use that. Franklin and Marshall College net price calculator. Should bring me to their financial aid webpage, and we're going to look for their net price calculator. Calculate your financial need in 20 minutes. Okay. Here it is. Net price calculator for Franklin and Marshall College. You'll see you can get started. It kind of tells you what to have ready to answer the questions. I highly suggest doing that before applying to colleges. Okay. Know your stuff. In order to know how financial aid works, how to apply for financial aid, and what the deadlines are for any given institution, you must visit the website for that institution. I'll show you some examples in a minute. Most families know about the FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A. That is one financial aid application. All colleges require it. However, that may not be the only application required for specific colleges. A common question I get from families is, when does the FAFSA due? The FAFSA in of itself does not have a due date. Each college determines when they would like to receive the FAFSA from students that are applying to that college. So if you're applying to 5 colleges, you may have 5 different FAFSA due dates. You can send it all at once, but you want to meet the earliest due date. So Westfield State University is a college that many of our graduates attend. So I'm on the financial aid website. You can just Google it, Westfield State Financial Aid. They're giving me tuition costs. They've got their net price calculator, which we love. Down here, they're talking about financial aid. Okay, so they're telling us what applications to be considered for all financial aid offered through Westfield State. You only need to complete the FAFSA. Well, that's great. And over here, they're talking about their deadlines. In order to meet the March 1st priority deadline, FAFSA forms must be submitted by February 15th every year. Great. I've got the 2 most important things that I needed to know. I'm going to click on Holy Cross, which is a college that gives great financial aid, and it's in Massachusetts, and it's private, so it's going to be a little bit different. So we've got this nice toolbar here, how aid works, applying for aid, your financial aid offer. I'm going to put applying because I want to know about applications and deadlines. Early and regular decision, that applies to our students. Okay, so they have the required applications and the deadlines. If I'm applying regular decision, that's a question for the student. You have to ask them when they're applying. It's telling me they want a FAFSA and a CSS profile. So it's available October 1st. They want the FAFSA complete by January 15th. The CSS profile complete by January 15th. They have links to those applications down here. So they talk about the FAFSA and they talk about the CSS profile. This is the second most common application that you will see when applying for financial aid. It's required by many private colleges. MEFA is the Massachusetts Educational Financing Authority. They are the best resource out there for Massachusetts students and families to educate you about financial aid. They have so many wonderful live and recorded financial aid workshops. They can consult with families individually. You can chat with them, you can call them, you can email, and they also offer low interest student loans that students can apply for if they are needing more loans. And those are student loans, so parents don't need to co-sign. And so you can check things out. Under Pay for College, college financing is, I believe, where you find their upcoming workshops. Let's see, financial aid, learn more. Okay. Well, these are frequently asked questions, but if you dig around a little bit, you will find their workshops. Okay, and here's it. For a full overview on financial aid, watch our college financing webinar in English and in Spanish. I hear a lot of students avoiding four-year college because they are afraid of loans. They feel that they will graduate with a lot of debt. And I want to say that while that is true for some people, if you are careful going into the process, that is a myth for many people. Student loans are okay. They don't impact the credit score as much as a private bank loan because they're an investment in education. Parents do not need to co-sign. They're taken out by the student, so the parental credit score does not matter. The normal amount of loans for a first-year student is $5,500. $5,500 is an acceptable amount to take out. I would be cautious about taking more. Some students do take more. I would really only suggest it if a student is going into a profession in which they will be making a lot of money. But many students will go on to graduate school after getting their bachelor's degree. And so you want to be careful about not taking out too many loans during the bachelor's degree. Federal student loans are best. They are better than bank loans for a student's credit, and they have good interest rates. Those are the ones that the colleges will offer in the financial aid package or award letter. This website will give the most up-to-date interest rates on loans. They have loan repayment calculators, and they talk about the different kinds of federal and state student loans so that a student and a family can understand which ones are best. And the amount of loans, like I said, should take into consideration your future career and income. Now, just because a college offers a certain amount of loans doesn't mean that a student needs to accept all of those loans. So if a college offers $5,500 in student loans, but the student really only needs $3,000, just email them or call them and say, hey, I actually only want $3,000 in student loans. They will update the financial aid package. the student is able to decide the amount to the dollar of how much they'd like to take out in loans. I'm going to visit the loans here just to show families some important information. So they're going to talk about the loans here. Most students will see a subsidized loan and an unsubsidized loan in their financial aid award letter. The information's here, but the subsidized loans, if you're only going to take one, are better because they don't accrue interest while the student's in college. The unsubsidized start accruing interest right away. So definitely want to make informed decisions. If you're an independent student, meaning your parents are not your legal guardians, you'll be eligible for probably full funding at some colleges. In this situation, you'll do your financial aid forms on your own. There are other circumstances that qualify you as independent. I can be a resource for students who need help in this process. And again, studentaid.gov has information on who qualifies as an independent student. Just because you're 18 or just because you have your own apartment or just because your parents don't want to fill out financial aid forms, those things do not qualify you as an independent student, and colleges will still require parental information. So here are links to the common forms. Some colleges have additional applications, however, so you must check, like I did before, the financial aid website of each college you're applying to know what forms they require. Myself, Anna Regali, and also Mary and Lila, the Gear Up advisors at Holyoke High School, are available for individual appointments virtually and in person to help students and families fill out financial aid forms. This is a little information on how financial aid will be determined once you apply. So you'll fill out your financial aid forms and they will assign you an EFC, which is an estimated family contribution. That basically says this is how much we think your family can afford toward college. This number also determines a student's eligibility for federal, state, and university need-based financial aid. If a college also gives merit aid, they will determine the amount to be given after looking at the student's transcript. So those are scholarships that colleges also give. So merit aid and need-based aid will be reflected on the financial aid award letter. And how do they determine your financial need? The cost of the college for a family, minus the estimated financial contribution is a family's financial need. So if a college meets 100% of your financial need, they'll be giving you what you need to pay for college. There is a myth out there that most financial aid is scholarships, and if you play sports, you're going to get those scholarships. Most financial aid is actually need-based aid from the state and federal governments, and some from the university. Colleges do give merit aid, but the bulk is need-based aid. Okay, that's it for today. If you look at the Holyoke High School College Counseling website, you can get also the most up-to-date list of scholarships that we have posted. And so after students are done applying for college, I highly recommend that they check out the scholarship list to give them a little boost. Thank you for listening today.